Hey, it's Rachel, and I want to talk to you about what to do when your children are worried about something. So maybe they're a young child and they're worried about going into their classroom. Maybe they're an older child, they're worried about a test or dealing with something with their friends. Because what we normally do as parents when our kids are worried doesn't actually help. Because when our kids tell us they're afraid of something, we usually use logic to get them out of it. For example, if you have a child who says to you, I'm worried about a test that's coming up. Normally what we would do is tell them all of the reasons they're going to be fine. We use logic. We say, hey, you were fine on the last test and you're good at this subject, you'll be fine. But what happens is when they're worried, they're actually feeling worried. So when we tell them all of the reasons that they're wrong, not only can they not really believe us because it's not consistent with how they feel, but they also just feel we don't get it. And so they think, oh, mom or dad doesn't get it. How can they help me? Or how can I really trust what they're saying? The same thing would be true for you. Let's say you lost your job and you were really worried about being able to get another one. And a friend said to you, oh, you'll be fine. You're really smart. Well, deep down, you're worried. And if someone said you're really smart and told you all the reasons you'd be fine, again, you wouldn't really trust them. You'd say, oh, they don't know the whole picture. They don't really get it, so I can't really believe them when they say that I'm going to be fine. The truth is that when we are worried about something, we are in a place where we can't really hear logic. In fact, we can't even access the rational, logical part of our brain when we're in the middle of a stress response. So what do we do for our kids then? Does that mean that we tell them that we agree with them? Absolutely not. Does it mean that we let them wallow in all of their worries and fears? Absolutely not. But what we do have to do is respect their perspective and everything that is worrying them. We have to listen to them, and instead of responding with trying to fix it or with judgment or with any, logic that's going to tell them why they're wrong, we simply have to use curiosity and respect their perspective. Again, we're not agreeing with them, we're just listening. So to the child who says, I'm really worried about the test, just say, okay, tell me why. And when they tell you all the reasons why they're worried, you don't disagree with them, you just listen to them. The purpose of all this is not to be nice, and again, it's not to agree with them. The purpose is that once people feel heard, they actually can get out of that stress response and start to do some problem solving. So after you've listened to your child, that's when you can start to go to the problem solving, more rational solutions. So you can say to your child after you've listened, you can reiterate all of the reasons they're nervous and say, yeah, if I felt like I didn't know the material for the test or my teacher were really hard, I'd be nervous too. And then you can go into the problem solving and say, but you do have to take this test. So let me help you problem solve the situation. Let's come up with some solutions. Now, once they're out of that stress response because you've listened to them, that's when they can problem solve. If you say to them, let's try to find some solutions, and they're still really, really resistant, they're probably still in their place where they haven't felt heard enough. So yes, we need to teach our kids to solve the problems and to get to logic and rational thought, but they cannot do that until we have listened to them by respecting their perspective first. So I hope that gives you some idea of how to help your child when they're worrying about something. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me at rachel@rachel-bailey.com. I'll see you next time.